January 23rd. What's going on, everybody? Stephen Cochran with Impression Management and creator of the Impression Leadership System. And today, like yesterday, instead of doing a leadership-oriented quote, I'll give you a short lesson in leadership that I think will be very beneficial to a lot of you. And that can be summarized in what I have here. The benefits of blame. All of us are so afraid of blame. And the first question I've got for you is, what does it actually cost you to take blame for things? And so let's just make some sort of illustration of this. There was a project put before an entire team of people, 5, 6, 7 people, and it went off the tracks. Deadlines were missed, quality wasn't what it was supposed to be, and at the end of the time period, someone has to pay the piper. Whoever is in authority is standing before this entire team and asks, how did all these things happen at once? What happened? The fear right there of anybody to step up and take the responsibility is remarkable. And so that leads me to that first question of, what does it actually cost you? And the answer is normally ego. Ego, saving face, some sort of social status. I would argue that it doesn't actually cost you anything, especially when you start to think about the benefits that it can bring you. What benefits can taking blame actually bring you? The first one, maybe the most obvious one, is a reputation among your team for stepping up, for strength, for courage to some degree. When you do things like that, especially for your team, they all remember that. That is a piece of your reputation that will be invaluable later on in your career when you establish yourself as the sort of person who doesn't hesitate to step up and take responsibility. And you might be wondering, well, what if it's not my fault? Well, I think if we went and looked at everything that happened in the process of this failure, we could find fault with any individual team member. The point here is, who's going to be the one to step up first, take their share of the blame and the slings and arrows that come with it. And a rightfully deserved reputation comes along with that, of someone who will step up when everybody else was a little bit hesitant. So what else does it give you? This gives you the opportunity to plan the fix. So it's not as though you're just going to step forward and say, I am responsible for all of this failure. You're welcome. No. You're going to step up and say, this is where I failed this team, and, not but, and here's what I'm going to do in the future to make sure that this does not happen again. Now, the person that's standing in authority in this moment is going to hear that, not only that you step up, but also you had thought about this, and you've got a plan to fix it, because that is all they're really going to want to know. This is in the past. How are we going to make sure this doesn't happen in the future? Guess who gets the most credibility to plan that fix? The person that steps up to take the blame. You also get the opportunity to reframe this whole thing as a solution. You can talk about what people have learned, what you've learned, where you think some things went wrong in the system itself, not with any individuals on this team. That's very important. To step up and take blame means you only talk about yourself. You do not say, I did these things wrong, but so did she, and so did he, and so did he, and so did she. No. You're stepping up, and that's all you're doing. Solo. Otherwise, it doesn't work. This can also give you a very well-deserved but also needed sense of control in the situation. When you're working with other people and you have to figure out how to make that as productive and efficient as possible without sacrificing any quality of either the relationships or the work itself, a lot of that is out of your control because you're working with and through other people. But in this moment, when things have gone badly, you get to step up and reassert some control. It will give you a sense that you do have some say-so over what happens in the future. And you will have that say-so because, again, this leads back to the reputation that you're creating. Everybody else is going to be much more open to listening to you in the future because you took the blame now. And that leads me to the last thing. the last benefit of blame that I can share with you. And that is the unmistakable and the irrefutable credibility you get from then on in one-on-one conversations with this team. You do not need to have any authority for this at all. I'm talking about real, durable credibility built through your behaviors, your actions. The credibility established by somebody who's willing to step up for the group, to step up for the team, is remarkable when it comes to one-on-one conversations. So once this awkward moment is gone, and we don't have to answer for anything anymore, we've got our marching orders to move on. When you go to talk to each one of the people on your team one-on-one, you will find a change in most, if not all of them, in how receptive they are to what you want to talk about, to how you want to do things, because you saved them what they were too scared to give up, which was the same thing you were afraid of in the first place. A bit of losing face, a bit maybe, a little bit of a bruised ego because you had to admit that you were wrong. But look at all that you have gained for what is not really a cost in the real world. But these things here, these are benefits. These are real, tangible opportunities that you have, all because you stepped up and took some blame. So I always want to hear what you think. Please leave the comments, hit the buttons, liking, subscribing, all the things. And I'll see you next time. That's it.